What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a lovely story time for y'all about a incident that happened at a subscriber skate park where this dude's mom tried to fight a kid. Not something that usually happens every day. But of course, when I got sent it, I knew it would make a fantastic story time. Something about people going crazy trying to fight each other just seems to make y'all click the video. But regardless, before we get into it, we gotta do something a little bit different today. As you can tell from the long title, we got a sponsor today, the lovely company GFUEL and Venom hooked it up. And we're gonna be doing a little flavor review before the story time, so sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's go. And today, I'm very, very excited to be talking to you guys about the new movie that's gonna be coming out on October 1st, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And let me tell you, the movie smacking. But what's more smacking than the movie, no, not more, equally smacking, is the fact that G Fuel, the greatest energy drink company on the planet, has managed to get a little collaboration moment going with Venom Let There Be Carnage. And thankfully, because your boys got the hookup over at G Fuel, I got the flavors a little bit early. So I'm gonna be doing a little flavor review / unboxing moment. And yeah, be sure to see the movie and let's do this. Alright, I'm gonna set the mic down, wish me luck. So the first box we got here, alright, very, very swag-tastic design, is the Red Ooze flavor from G Fuel. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been a G Fuel drinker for a long time now, like a decade. The fact that they're doing stuff with like movies is absolutely incredible, but this box itself, a work of art. But that's not it. You might think they only got one flavor with the new Venom movie, right? Wrong. Yeah, that's right. They got two flavors based on the Venom movie, Black Ooze and Red Ooze. You guys can get these at the G Fuel website, and you should, especially if you're excited for the movie. But I'm gonna try each of the flavors, let you guys know my verdict, and yeah, let's go. Now, in this little review, I only tested out the shaking version of the G Fuel, but these can also be picked up in the can variation, which may I say is pretty nifty if you want to take it to school with you, want to take it to work, hell, take it to the moon, I don't even care. But it's convenient to carry with you, and you can get it in can form as well. Just wanted to mention that. All right, guys, I'm back with the G Fuel. I know, I made it incredibly quickly with the magic of video editing. I'm gonna set this mic down one last time. Deeply apologize. All right, we're gonna start with Red Ooze, just because, I don't know, I feel like doing it first. You gotta give your G Fuel a nice good shake. Get some ASMR up in there for y'all. Now, the key to testing G Fuel is really simple. All right, you gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta be honest with your soul, align your chakras, all that good stuff. I'm gonna be honest, this is pretty bomb. I'm gonna be honest, this is really good. It's a little sour, but I love sour things. In fact, most of the sour G Fuel flavors are like up there, some of my favorites. I can't really tell you exactly what it is. Tastes pretty sour cherry though, I love that. Very sweet, very fantastic. I know sweet and sour is like they got that contrast going on, but it's beautiful. It's like fireworks in your mouth. I'm gonna have a little more actually. It's that good, okay? I'm drinking more, that's how you know I actually like it. Okay, that's good. But is it better than its brother? This is the real test, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Give your G Fuel a little shakesies, Give it a little toss and turn. I'm gonna be honest. They're both really, really, really good. I think this one's a little better. It's nothing personal, obviously. It is the color of Venom himself, so, they had to use the better flavor for the one that matched the aesthetic just a smidge better. They're both fantastic, though. In fact, if anything, I would recommend getting both of them. And if you are going to be over at the G Fuel website picking yourself out some Venom Let There Be Carnage G Fuel, you might as well use code SCRUBBY because we all know that's the best way to get a discount on G Fuel these days. But yeah, on that note, guys, as I said, Venom Let There Be Carnage going to be coming out on the 1st of October. Be sure to do that, and be sure to check out these flavors. They're going to be at the G Fuel website, and use code SCRUBBY over there. And yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout, but let's get to the story time. We all know that skate parks are supposed to be like a pretty chill place. Usually they are. This does not happen very often. I don't want my story time to paint the idea of skate parks as like the worst place to ever exist. But one thing that can be pretty annoying at skate parks is that, like, you know, little kids through no fault of their own get brought here by their parents, dropped off without actually knowing any of the like rules of a skate park. Not that there's rules, but you know, not to necessarily go down a ramp without looking, or just general ways to maintain your safety without being ran over by someone else doing a trick. And on this particular day, there was this group of moms who had brought their kids on their razor scooters to the skate park, and these kids were snaking absolutely everybody. For those of you that don't know what snaking is, it's basically the act of like when somebody cuts you off when you're doing a trick. So let's say that you were going to drop in from ramp A and go to ramp B. If somebody cut you off while you were on your way from ramp A to ramp B, they would be snaking you. And listen, these kids were not doing this maliciously, obviously. They were not sitting there like, I'm gonna cut them off and prevent them from doing any tricks. It was just a natural consequence of them, you know, not really knowing the flow of a skate park, paying attention to like the way people move around it, just doing whatever they want to do because they're little kids and don't know any better. And you would think the parents might, you know, warn the kids, all right, guys, it looks like they're doing a bunch of tricks between these two ramps, so just hanging out in the bottom of it doesn't make sense. But for some reason, I've had this happen a few times. Karens kind of have this idea that, like, you know, if their kid's at the skate park, then everyone else should just do tricks on the other end of the skate park and their kids can just do whatever they want. And in my personal opinion, sometimes that is just the easier way to do things. But on this particular instance, this kid had been trying to hit this trick all day, so he kept doing it over and over again. And he was usually stopping before kids would snake him. He would stop, obviously, trying to avoid an accident. But it was basically like every single time someone went to go anywhere, one of them was getting cut off. And on this particular try, he was getting pretty close and he had his headphones in and he drops in from the ramp, and as he's going across this like big flat space to where he wants to do his trick, one of the kids comes the opposite direction than they had been coming all day on a razor scooter. So he's kind of looking to his left where all the kids on the scooters are to make sure that they don't come in front of him and crash. Well, I guess while he was doing that, a kid had started coming down from the right-hand side and sure enough goes in front of him because, you know, it's a little kid, they're not paying too much attention. And this dude on his skateboard just smacks into this kid full speed. Like, he had some speed with him. He was on his way to do a trick, so obviously it's a big thunk. So loud that the skate park kind of goes quiet and looks over to see what's going on, and sure enough, all the little kids are like, oh my gosh, and running over, and the skateboarder immediately feels horrible. Genuinely, it was not a situation where he was like trying to hurt the kid whatsoever. Obviously, it was just a situation of, you know, the kid came in front of him, he wasn't looking, they just crashed. He had done great all day of avoiding this situation, but, you know, it really was not on purpose. So the skateboarder instantly turns to the kid and is like, are you okay? Are you okay? Can I help you up? Here, let me get your scooter. You know, he helps the kid get up. He's trying to be like, all right, where's your mom? Where's your mom? You know, and all the other kids are like, go get his mom. Go get his mom. So he's hurt. The kid's crying. Not necessarily because he's hurt, more scared than anything. Like the same reaction most little kids would have if they just got smacked at Mach 10 by someone on a skateboard. But the skateboarder's there kind of talking to him, making sure he's okay. And one of the little kids had ran out to get his mom from the playground, I guess. Well, you know, little kids are little kids, so they're also not necessarily as aware of like what they're saying out loud mattering. So the little kid, as he's running to get this kid's mom and, like, you know, explain that he got hit by somebody on a skateboard, all he's saying is, someone on a skateboard hit your kid. Someone on a skateboard hit your kid. Like, that's all he's yelling over and over again. So obviously the mom hears this and starts sprinting into the skate park, trying to figure out who hit her kid, because that's all she hears from this little dude. He doesn't provide context of, no, literally they collided while they were skating. You know, he just says someone hit the kid. So the mom comes running in and she sees this dude, the skater, kind of talking to the kid who's on the ground crying. And she runs up and goes, what's going on? And shoves the skater. And the skater goes back a little bit, and a couple of the other dudes who were around him kind of got between him and went, whoa, 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 no, 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 no. And the mom's like, what's happening? Why did you hit my son? You hit my kid. You hit my kid. Why is he crying? And the skaters start trying to explain that, like, no, he didn't hit your kid. Your kid kind of came out of nowhere and they ran into each other. Like, he did hit your kid technically, but he didn't hit your kid. She had thought for some reason that they were having like a WWE SmackDown match in the middle of the skate park. Just like, if you can toss a toddler, do it. Like, that was just not happening. And anyways, obviously, most people at that point would come to the logical conclusion of, oh, okay, obviously I misunderstood what's happening. I'm probably not right. The way that they're explaining it makes way more sense in a skate park. But this lady's having none of it. She's like, well, if you didn't hit him, then why is he crying? Like, it's just simple. Like, if you didn't hit him, he wouldn't be crying. My son, I'm sorry, my dog decided to join right there, but she's like, my son would never cry just because someone ran into him on a skateboard, so I know you had to hit him. And I don't know if this lady was just emotional in the moment or what, but like, she clearly has never been ran into by somebody going Mach 18 on a skateboard, bro. Your kid would probably cry from that. This dude is flying. Skaters are built pretty lanky, so when they collided, I bet you an elbow or some bone part like smacked into your kid. It was probably not a good time. Every time I've collided with somebody else on a skateboard, it's always been an accident, but like, yeah, it's an elbow to the head or like a knee to the nose. It's just never that much of a good time after you are tumbling. So it could make him cry. So she starts basically accusing this skater of hitting the kid, but then making up the story of crashing into him to prevent him from getting in trouble. And the skater guy is like, look, that's not what happened. Everyone was watching. There's witnesses. That's not what happened. And the mom is like, regardless of whether or not your friends are backing you up, I know what happened. My son would never cry just because he ran into somebody on a skateboard. And there's a couple people between them, but she lunges through them and like swings on the skater, dude, literally. And the skater, you know, the way I'm going to describe it sounds a lot cooler, but he kind of steps back and dodges the punch Matrix style, like he watches it go by. But it's not like this thing is moving incredibly quickly and the people between them kind of go to block it. So he dodges it and she's like, I'm going to beat you up. Your time's numbered. Like, just wait. I'm going to figure out who you are. Just like going crazy on the guy. And the skater guy keeps apologizing because he feels horrible. Even amongst all of this, the mom going crazy, he's like, obviously I did not mean to purposely hit your kid and I didn't hit your kid, but like, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to run into him. Because anyone would feel bad in that situation, dude. It's not like this guy is heartless. You're skating somewhere, someone steps out in front of you, you collide with them and they get like, not seriously hurt, but they're crying. You're gonna feel bad. But now just imagine that person's parent pulls up on you out of nowhere and starts literally trying to like challenge you to fist combat because she thinks that there's some evil conspiracy theory to like knock out her son at the skate park. And even if that was true, that, skaters hate your kid and they want to knock him out all the time, right? Like, hypothetically, this mom lives in this world where skaters are just running around skate parks knocking out kids. It doesn't exist. That's not true, but that's what she thinks, right? Why would you leave your kid at the skate park while you're watching your other kid on the playground? Like, if I knew that skate parks were this gladiator pit, where everyone's just running up to each other, smacking each other with skateboards, fighting. You're pretty sure you saw one dude eat an ear off another kid. You're like, this is chaos. I wouldn't just let my kid be there with no adult supervision. If you really think it's the most dangerous place on the planet, then why did you just let him roam around without anyone there? So obviously this mom is explaining that, all of his friends are covering for him. Everyone in the skate park is making this story up because he hit the kid. And they're holding her back now because she's still trying to hit him because, he ran into her kid on purpose. And then she starts to just scream like wild things. Not even English, dude. She starts to like scream curses at him. Yeah, that's right. He had ran into like one of the moms that thinks that she has superpowers, the ladies on TikTok where they're like, by the power of light, I will channel the moon energy into my sunbeam. Like, that's basically what she was talking about. She starts saying that she's placing a curse upon him for the next 8 years and that like, as long as the curse is alive and as long as she thrives, then he will never find true happiness. Just like out of pocket for, literally accidentally running into your kid on a skateboard. But whatever, finally after a bit of like screaming curses and trying to break through the people, probably figured out that she's not going to. But instead of being like, okay, I went a little crazy, bye, she goes, you know what? This isn't worth my time. I don't have to sit here and take this. I've already cursed you. I know that will do more than enough to prove my point, You're gonna regret the day that you hit my kid. And she like grabs her kid, who's still on the floor crying, even though at this point, it's been a couple minutes, he should be okay. And she picks him up off the ground and starts to walk away with him, right? Like, kind of like not dragging him, but pulling him by his arm. And he goes, Mom, you left my scooter. Mom, you left my scooter. And sure enough, his razor is there. And, she goes, it's okay. So she takes her kid out of the skate park, probably over to his brother on the playground, and the razor scooter is just there. And they think she's gone. So they start laughing. Like, all the skaters are like, what just happened? That was insanity. Like, what is in the water these days? Well, I guess her plan was to come back for the razor scooter, but like try to do it intimidatingly and look cool. And the only problem with that is there is literally no way to be intimidating or look cool on a razor scooter. It's just not possible. So she comes back in and like walks up to the group and is like, "Excuse me, gentlemen, my son left his scooter," which is already just not a very tough sentence. "Excuse me, gentlemen," like, oh, okay, thank you for the politeness before you fight me. And then to match it with, "My son's scooter is over here." Like, all right, you're just not bringing the correct energy for what you want. But this grown woman picks up this Razor scooter that has the handlebars adjusted for like her little kid's son, and she turns and tries to like angrily start pushing the scooter away. All right, guys, I'm gonna interrupt the video for just 1 second. If you guys are enjoying the video, then that's great. You should press the like button. But if you check your screen, you will see a gift card code on there. For those of you that don't know, I give one of these away in every single video I post on the channel as a way to say thank you to you guys for subscribing and turning on notifications. So if you haven't already, you should press subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you already have, then you're an absolute G. I really appreciate it. And yeah, on that note, we'll get back to the video. Thanks. But you know, there's literally no way to do that toughly. So she tries to like take the scooter away with attitude, and one of the kids ends up laughing because, you know, it's just this grown woman sassily trying to scoot away on a Razor scooter. But when they laugh, she turns around. But instead of just turning around her body, she turns around with the entire Razor scooter. And she goes, "What do you guys think is so funny?" Keep in mind, trying to talk intimidating while standing on a scooter. And they say, "Ma'am, you know, it just doesn't look very tough," was their response. And she goes, "I don't need to look tough. I actually am tough. You guys would know that if you wouldn't have stopped me from hitting your friend." Which is just not a very tough statement, lady. Like, this is a group of teenagers in the skate park. You shouldn't be flexing the fact that you would have been able to knock one of them out if you didn't get held back. Like, I don't think flexing the fact that you could have punched a kid and hurt him is a very impressive feat. "Yeah, that's right, Jimmy. I tell you what, 8-year-old started lipping up to me, so I backhanded him and he woke up next week." It's like, dude, you slapped an 8-year-old? Jesus, like, why did you do that? You know, it's not like it would be impressive. Obviously, 8-year-old and like a 15-year-old skater are two different things, but you guys get the point. It's like, okay, cool, you could beat up kids. So they're kind of like, all right, lady, just go. Just like get your scooter and get out of here. And I guess at that point, you know, she's decided she can't let these bullies win. She says, "I have every right to be here. I'm not leaving." And she like plants and sits on the scooter. So now she's sitting on the scooter in the middle of like the bowl of this skate park, and everyone's just kind of looking at her like, what's going on? And she starts yelling about how she won't be bullied and, you know, her tax dollars pay for this park and blah, 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 blah. And when she says the tax dollars things, one of the kids just says, "Yeah, so do mine. Everyone's does," which is kind of true, bro. This is one thing that Karens don't get. Technically, if taxes do pay for something, we all partly own it. You are correct. You're 100% right. But when it comes to like a park, we all own it. So it's not more yours than it is mine because we just both paid for it. Like, you can't really use the excuse of I pay taxes, so therefore I get to use this however I please. It's like, well, no, because we all pay taxes, so there has to be some rules, you know? Whatever, everyone's just kind of laughing at her, pointing out how she's dumb, and eventually she gets tired of it, gets up, and like drags the scooter away, you know, this time dragging it. She doesn't try to ride it away toughly again, sadly, but she walks over to her kids at the playground and is like, "We're gonna get out of here, you know, we're going to a place where there's not as many bullies," because obviously they were the bullies, you know, it's not the mom going crazy screaming about how she's gonna knock everyone out. No, that's not the bully in any way, shape, or form. The bully is obviously the kids that were laughing at her for saying crazy things. But my favorite part of it is like on the way out, right? She's dragging her kids out with her. They don't really want to go. They want to stay at the park. So they're like, "No, no." And she starts flipping off the skaters that are looking, right? So they flip her off back. And when they do that, she says, "Oh my gosh, do you guys see what I mean? Look at how bad of examples you're being for kids at this skate park." Completely missing the irony that she had flipped them off first in front of her own kids. Call me crazy, but when I was a little kid, I definitely thought something was more okay if my parents did it than just like some random stranger. I think people don't give kids enough credit for being able to tell that just because a random stranger does something doesn't mean you should too. But nah, this lady just goes off about how they're bad examples and blah, 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 blah. And even then, even if they are horrible examples, just the worst of the worst, you're at the skate park. It's not like their job is to be a hero to your kid, dude. I agree, people shouldn't be doing crazy things in public in front of people, you know, like I don't deny that, but it's not like they were. And it's just also not a stranger's job to set a good example. Like, why is that just this random dude named Jeremy at the skate park's job? He's like, "Oh, I work at Taco Bell tomorrow, so is that a good example?" It's not society's job to raise your kid, dude. It's yours. That's why you're his parent. Anyways, guys, so the mom leaves, flips him off, obviously, honking her horn on the way out, just causing the biggest scene, doing more and more to embarrass her kids and show them how not to act. But obviously, you know, the skaters are the biggest problem on the planet, dude. You know, where do they get this behavior from? I know why they're misbehaving today and screaming at me and telling me that my tax dollars went to this dinner and I don't want to eat it. Because those damn skaters. It's no way that they learned that from me. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. If you're going to get G Fuel, then of course use code SCRUBBY. And if you want to help me out further, then a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, is down below. And as y'all know, it's now October, scary season, which means you should go and check out the Halloween merch. As you can see, it's on your screen now, and it's pretty fantastic. You can get that from a link in the description along with a link to the G Fuel, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see each and every single one of you guys next time with another video. One more piece of advice other than the pregnancy one I would recommend is always make sure your shoes are tied so you don't trip. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.